I painted myself into a corner, and I don't mind it, you know.
Something you told me on one of the other shows in talking about yourself, you said I don't play a character, and you said your uncle was very much the same way. The Sheik, it wasn't a character, that was him. But there must have been times where you, as your other alter ego, Terry, would see your uncle in a way nobody else saw.
Yeah, but there'd be some times like that, but most of the time he was 24 hours, that's the way he was. Not running around speaking Arabic, but always the same guy on his way to the ring as he was on the way to the dressing room, on the way to the car, and on the way to the hotel. He was the same guy, you know. Not going crazy, of course, but it wasn't like turn it on, turn it off. It was always on, you know.
How close in your immediate family was the Sheik?
He's my mother's brother.
Okay, your mother's brother. So he was always around, any family functions, and he was always a part of your life, even when you were very small.
Yeah.
The wrestling family fascinates me. I've talked to Lanny Poffo about this, and Greg Gagne. Is everyone kayfabing each other all the time? Like, Mrs. Farhat couldn't come in and say, oh, how'd you work last night? She had to be kayfabed to a certain degree.
Yeah, kind of like, and when I first started, we kayfabed the other parts of the family who wasn't in the business.
Right.
You know. Now, you know, you insult their intelligence. Now, if they don't know, I don't clue them in. But if they ask me, you know, I'll tell them the truth. You know.
Oh, today you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking about in the 70s.
Back then we worked them. We didn't let anybody in on it.
Would your aunt be talking business?
Of course.
With the Sheik?
Oh yeah, and Carney. She could speak Carney better than me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she knew the business way better than I do. I only know how to wrestle. She knows the business. You know. She knew it better than Sheik did too. Sheik knew wrestling. He didn't know the business part of it. She knew everything.
How much older was he than you?
The Sheik?
Yeah.
He was 59 when I was 19. When I was 21. No.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So she's passed also, your aunt?
Yeah. She just died last year.
Oh, okay. What about your side of it? Your mom, your dad? Did they talk about what Uncle did?
My mom did. My dad was never around, so I don't know what he talked about. But my mom, yeah, she talked about it, but she didn't know. She was just scared for him, and although he was this vicious heel, she would cry for him. It was funny,
Right.
you know.
Well, that's the thing too. When somebody when you're kayfabing your family and the guy is playing a scumbag on TV or some fearsome character, it's like. Do you have to go to school and listen to shit about, like, your uncle's
No.
devil?
When I went to school, everybody goes, "Oh, the Sheik's my favorite." But once I turned my back, fuck that Sheik, you know. But when,
did
to
not
my
to
face,
you.
they were his favorite. You know, they were the favorites.
Your childhood in Michigan, outside of your uncle running around stabbing people and throwing fireballs, a normal childhood?
Yeah. See, everybody thinks I know, like, he took me in the wrestling business when I was a baby. No, he kayfabed me up until I was 19, which, you know, he always knew I wanted to be a wrestler because whenever I came to his house, whenever we came to his house, went to visit him like almost every Sunday for 1,000 years. I'd always stare at him. And then when I said I want to be a wrestler to him, he goes, "I know." I go, "How'd you know?" He goes, "I could tell the way you stared at me for the last 20 years. You know, he just knew it, you know.
Were other guys over for, like, was Abby there for Sunday dinner?
Sometimes, yeah. Every Sunday would be a different guy. You know, Bobo or Mighty Igor or Don Cat. Somebody would be over Sunday because Saturday they did Cobo Hall. You know.
Oh, okay. So
and
they'd
after
sleep
Cobo
over.
Hall, they'd go to his house, relax a day, and then go home or would go back on the road or whatever. But whoever the big star was or whoever Sheik was wrestling that week, he usually brought him home.
Would you hear him and Bobo talk?
No.
Carney?
They were never in the same room together. They're in the same house.
You're fucking kidding me.
No, Bobo would sit in the living room and eat, and Sheik would sit in the dining room and eat. And they would never talk or anything.
Babyface and heels were separated in the
even
home.
in the house. Yeah.
I ask people if they're separated in the building. They're separated in the house.
Even in the house.
Phenomenal. So you never saw interaction. But now if a heel was over, that was okay
Even then,
or no? Even
then, Sheik didn't want to see you until it was time to work, but you can come and take anything you want from his house or, you know, help yourself, but he just didn't want to talk to you.
You have a big estate?
Oh, yeah. A giant mansion.
Okay. So he did well. He was a good, in addition to being a good worker, he was a good businessman.
He made a lot of money, yeah.
I think you told me his best advice to you was Lanny said Angelo's advice was save your money. You told me his best advice to you was, do you remember what you told me? Never suck a dick.
That dude.
It's like a dick for a job, I think was the exact quote.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And maybe that's why you never made it in the WWF.
That could have been.
Could you please tell me a sweet moment from the Sheik? Seeing him play with a grandchild or crying at a sad movie. Could you please make him human?
Yeah, he'd kill me. But there's a lot of times you see him like that with his granddaughter Susie, and you know, it almost made me sick how nice he was.
Really?
You know? Yeah, because I always wanted to see him stay the mean Sheik, but he'd be the mean Sheik to everybody except for her. You know, he was the double mean Sheik for me.
Once you started training, or when you were a kid?
No, once I started training. Before that, he was nice to me.
Well, yeah, that's a whole thing. I mean, going to work for him. I mean, first of all, what kind of pressure did that put on
I
you?
was scared to death, but you know, he only taught me each lesson once. I got it the first time. You know, I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody else, but it just seems like whenever he said something, I never got it wrong twice. You know.
Right. How would he reprimand you? Would he do it privately, pull you aside and say, listen?
You yell at me in public, yell at me in private. Not really slap me around, but kind of tug me around, push me around.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
But was he like that with all the boys?
No.
Or just
me. Because I remember he told me to get everybody some coffee. I did, and then I said something, and he reamed into me, and then the other guys come out, pulled me aside, goes, "Don't worry about man. He doesn't like you. It's all right," because they didn't know I was his nephew. You know.
So he hid that from the
yeah,
others,
yeah.
so that
For
there would be
5 years,
no.
For 5 years, we didn't tell anybody I was his nephew. We didn't even tell people. If they asked, the first 5 years was no. After that, if they asked, I would say yes. You know.
Okay. And that was the Sabu the elephant back then?
No, I was Terry SR for my first 5 years. I don't know what SR
okay.
means. And then he named me Sabu the Elephant Boy on my 6th year.
Okay. So you didn't do any of that for the first 5 years?
No.
The head, okay.
And then actually when I was Sabu, when I first got named Sabu, I had the Indian headdress. And he wanted me to be a Indian, like a Hindu Indian.
Uh-huh.
And I go, why? He goes, because you're a heel. I want you to be a heel. I said, well, how's that going to make me a heel? He goes, because I hate Indians. So he hated Indians, so he wanted me to be an Indian so people wouldn't like me either.
Who were people in his inner circle that were also the creative types, running the business, doing the booking with him? Who was his inner circle?
My Aunt Joyce, for one, she was a big influence.
Wow.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of guys like Ernie Roth. There's a lot of guys. But I mean, there wasn't a lot of guys. It seems like a lot of guys, but there's a few guys he trusted their opinion. You know.
When did you learn? You said he kayfabed you to when you were 19, but did you know wrestling was a work until you were 19? Or
I didn't know, but you kind of know.
How was it revealed to you?
He never, till this day, has said, it's like this. It's just, I learned it, and he assumed I caught on. He never said, okay, now this is kayfabe, and this is it, or this is how it's done, this is it.